Okay, folks, what's up? Rich Van Tassel with you, giving you the recap of the first Monday night game. Make quick notes with these. I didn't see this game. I had to work. Of course, it ended earlier than most of the Monday night games will. So moving forward, I should be able to give you the Monday night games afterwards. I won't be staying up to watch this game that just started. I probably won't even be watching that. I'm watching some stuff I didn't get to see last night, watching the Cowboys game, but when the games end at 11:30ish, whatever, sometimes they go to midnight. I can handle those on Monday, but this situation with the doubleheader, I just wasn't able to do it. So, moving on, that's the case. Minnesota getting the 29-19 victory over the New Orleans Saints. Start with the box scores for the visiting Saints. Drew Brees, 27 of 37, 291 yards, one touchdown, no interceptions. No running at all for the New Orleans Saints. Adrian Peterson, 6 of 18. I'm telling you, Adrian Peterson, I don't think he has it anymore. Alvin Kamara, 7 of 18. That's 3 yards and 2.6. Mark Ingram, 6 for 17, 2.8. Now, Minnesota does have a very good defensive line. We'll have to keep an eye on that. I don't think Adrian Peterson is going to have a productive season. I think you're going to see probably not as bad as the 6 for 18. But you're going to see, 10 for 33 yard, 13 for 45 yard games is what you're going to see from him. And you see the other running backs did not do that well. Altogether, the team was 21 of 60, 2.9 yards per rush. So we'll keep an eye on that. I think this was unusually low for Adrian Peterson, but they're not going to be that much better than what you saw tonight. Kobe Fleener, top receiver, 5 of 54, one touchdown. Mark Ingram, 5 of 54. Ted Ginn Jr., 4 of 53. Only one sack. It belonged to Cameron Jordan. He's a pretty professional sack guy. Nothing really of note in the kick returns other than the fact that 3 guys returned kicks. 3 separate guys, that is. Nothing in the punt returns. Will Lutz, 4 for 4 in his field goals. As for the Minnesota Vikings, Sam Bradford was very impressive in this one. 27 of 32, 346 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. I said in the preview that Minnesota would have to run the ball. They did. I was expecting Latavius Murray. It was all Dalvin Cook this game. 22 of 127, 5.8. So he was clearly hot. I don't know. Again, I didn't see the game. This was, of course, the second-round pick this year out of Florida State. I don't know if it was just a situation where it was hot. They went with the hot hand. But Latavius Murray is an established guy who they brought in to replace Adrian Peterson. But I don't know what's going on. Did Dalvin Cook completely win it in preseason? We'll have to see. But you look, he was 22 of 127 running. The team altogether was 30 of 129. So besides him, 8 other guys ran the ball for 2 yards. Now, granted, that's a minus 6 yard run by Stephon Diggs. Sam Bradford, I'm guessing he took a couple knees, so that's 2 carries for minus 3. But still, let's take those off. The other 2 guys, Latavius Murray, 2 of 6, Jerick McKinnon, 3 of 5. So that's 5 carries for 11 yards when one guy goes 22 of 127. Surprising. Hey, after seeing these numbers, Dalvin Cook may be an early season Rookie of the Year contender. It's early. I'm actually going to do a radio show on overreactions and those things, but you look at it, for him to come in and impress like that when other guys aren't doing it, that's something to keep an eye on. Adam Thielen, 9 receptions, 157 yards. Stephon Diggs, 7 of 93. He had 2 touchdowns. Kyle Rudolph, 3 of 26. He had the other touchdown. David Morgan, the second, recovered a fumble. Latavius Murray fumbled. It was not lost. Maybe that's what happened. Again, I didn't see the game. Maybe Murray fumbled early on, and they said to the bench, you go. Only one sack. It was Everson Griffin. Like we said, Minnesota was clearly doing the job with their defensive line, preventing the run. Jerick McKinnon, 4 kick returns, 108 yards. That's a 27 yard per return average. That's pretty good. 39 was his longest. Marcus Sherrill's 2 returns on the punt game for 11 yards, 5.5. Kai Forbath, 3 for 3 in his field goals. Now, I'm very surprised with this one. I didn't think that New Orleans offense would struggle this much. It's certainly not a surprise that Minnesota was able to get 29 points. Or I shouldn't say that Minnesota was able to get 29 points, even though it's the same thing. I guess the way you would be speaking here is that New Orleans gave up 29 points, even to a pretty pedestrian Minnesota offense. But hey, Dalvin Cook went off the charts, and Sam Bradford was very good in this game. Maybe they're taking a more aggressive approach with Sam Bradford this year. He did have 27 completions, but 346 yards, so it wasn't all short passing. We'll have to see. As for New Orleans, their offense has got to be better if their defense is still going to struggle like this. It's again, week one, it's hard to determine. Maybe Minnesota's offense is really out for a big season this year. I don't know. I wouldn't expect it. They went against the Saints defense, so that's certainly an area where you have, your question marks. Which is it? Is it, as you had with the Cowboys and the Giants last night? Is it that the Cowboys defense is improved? Is it that the Giants offense is that bad? Is it a combination of both? Is it week one that they're rusty? We'll have to see. But all in all, you got to like the returns that you got from Minnesota. Sam Bradford playing very well. Dalvin Cook, the rookie, running the ball very well. So it's a case where you get what you need if you're Minnesota, and then you take it and move on from there. As for New Orleans, though, their biggest question coming in was their defense. I remember I brought up the Cowboys and the Giants. You look at those things. Well, what's the biggest question mark? Is it just a combination? Of course, you had the Odell Beckham Jr. injury, those sort of things. When you look at the Cowboys, Giants, well, the Cowboys' biggest question was their defensive line and secondary. They were able to get sacks, and they played pretty well in the secondary yesterday. For the Saints, their biggest question mark coming in was their defense. So again, it's week one. We don't know what it is. There's some things that got to get figured out, of course. But all in all, you give it to Minnesota because they answered their questions. Can their offense play? That doesn't mean their offense is going to be great, but at least you answered it in week one. But again, moving forward, week one, you have overreactions and those sort of things. I actually talk about that joining a new radio network. It's In the Zone Sports Radio. My show will be on 9 to 10, and that's what I'm going to be discussing on Wednesday Eastern. So 9 to 10 Eastern on Wednesdays in the Zone Sports Radio. I'll actually put a link in one of my videos for it, but that's what I'm going to discuss this week. So just a nice little transition to that. So anyone watching, you can check out In the Zone Radio on Facebook. Join the Facebook page, and the times will be posted there. But that's one of the things I want to discuss is overreactions. You have to see, but you have to take some things from game one, but you also can't overreact. So just give it to Minnesota that they won. They answered their biggest question mark. New Orleans did not, so keep an eye on that. And Minnesota got away with the victory, or came away with the victory as well. Alright, so like I said, I don't know what I'm going to be doing for this other video, or for this other game. I'll probably just rehash it next week when I discuss those teams. You have the Denver Broncos, and you also have the Los Angeles Chargers. So we'll keep an eye on those things. Denver is playing the Cowboys. I'm not sure who the Chargers have. So be sure to stay tuned. We're essentially done with week one. I have to give you that. And like I said, moving forward with Monday Night Football, it shouldn't be a problem doing the recap of it. It's just this week with the doubleheader. Remember, we appreciate all subscriptions as well. Have a good night.